She said her name is Leah. So we're adding that in there now, Leah. And she had mentioned previously in a story that she worked at a hospital before. So now we're going to read her experience at the hospital. Okay.
I'm ready.
So let's do it. She said, "I." Leah says, "I worked at this hospital from 2016 to 2018. This hospital has a history. It had a nursing school that the building became connected to the main hospital. Nursing school there was a building that became connected to the main hospital. It had a nurse that was caught killing her patients. I didn't know any of the history until I started working there and having weird experiences. Then I would go home and research. I was particularly afraid of the third floor. At first, it was just a creepy feeling. Then I had experiences that gave me a reason to hate cleaning on that floor. This one office I went into, I propped the door open, went in, went in to clean the bathroom, and the door slammed shut. I went to open the door, and it was locked in, or I was locked in. The doors didn't work that way. If you were inside the office, you could open the door. Only those outside would be locked out. So I went through the connecting office and that door opened. Another time in the same office, I was cleaning the bathroom sink and the paper towel holder opened and slammed my head. Kind of freaked me out. The maternity slash delivery ward was on that floor too. The one delivery room gave me the one delivery room gave me the creeps. One time a baby was born stillbirth in that room and I had to clean it. They had left the TV on and the lights over the bed even though it was daytime. Left the stuff on even though it was daytime. I was making the bed and kind of interested in whatever was on the TV when the lights began to flicker and the TV shut off. I've been hearing quite a bit about that light flickering thing and I've seen it in my own life.
Yes,
After my father in law passed, and when me and my ex wife entered into a time when it was pretty obvious we were going to be separating and divorcing. And I would go out in the garage, and her dad had passed some months before, and the lights on her car would flash on and off, on and off, on and off, and the lights in the garage would flash sometimes. And light switches in the house wouldn't. It was a brand new house, and they wouldn't work. I couldn't turn the lights on or off. It was weird. A lot of strange things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see where was I? When the lights began to flickering and the TV shut off, only to turn back on and switch the channel. The nursing school building on the third floor had become sleeping rooms for the emergency room doctors. This room at the end of the hallway I went in to clean and left the door open to grab my supplies outside by the door when it suddenly shut. I could not get in using my key and the code. I had to call my supervisor and explain what happened and wait for him to show up. He believed me and had stories of his own about seeing a gargoyle on the third floor between the delivery area and the surgical area. One of the other girls working in the housekeeping said in the surgical area she witnessed a bed rolling out of one of the rooms into the hallway and it was not occupied. That unit cleared patients out after the surgeries. That unit cleared patients out after the surgeries. I was on the sixth floor and went into a patient's room to clean. I was in the bathroom washing the sink and flushed the toilet to prepare to clean it next. When the water started filling up in the sink, I definitely thought there was a plumbing issue and called maintenance when I finished the room. They told me that it was impossible to flush the toilet and fill the sink.
Hmm.
So they probably thought I was crazy. Another time on the sixth floor, I was finishing up for the night and my closet was on the fifth floor. So I decided to take the stairs because it was closer to the closet than taking the elevator. I'm assuming she's been in the closet where her supplies are at or something. But when I got to the door on the other floors, you put in a code to unlock. But on this unit, it was disabled. The lights were blinking and the door kept locking and unlocking. That was enough for me. I took the elevator. There was a two-story building with offices across the street to clean as well. I got the same creepy feeling there too. One evening, I went in to clean on the second floor. I propped open the door and was cleaning when I heard the door slam shut. Once again, I was trapped inside, where you are supposed to be able to get out if you are inside of the office, and had to call my supervisor to get me out. I can't tell you how unnerving it is and how difficult it is to stay calm and not freak out when that stuff happens. One patient, a man in the ICU, became very alert when I walked in and began asking me questions like if I was related to so and so, etc. Then he told me that I looked like a girl he once he knew once and went to school with. The activity room had a book with old-fashioned pictures, and one picture looked like me with my youngest son, but wearing the long dress and apron of that period. I made a copy of it, but it's buried in my attic, or I would scan it in for this story and send it. I think that is about it. I feel like I'm forgetting something else that happened, but it isn't coming to me. When I moved in 2018, I ended up a couple of blocks from that hotel. Leah.
From that hospital.
Hospital.
Yeah.
What else? What else? Say?
Hotel. Hotel. No.
Hotel.
Yeah.
Okay.
No
Yeah,
worries.
my brain's about mush today. I'm telling you, I'm working too much. I'm
I understand.
focusing so hard on trying to get everything done as fast as possible, and it's about too much for me.
Right.
But Leah, you know, darling, I've seen this kind of stuff happen myself. What have you seen this kind of stuff before, Shannon?
Hospitals are quite a hotbed of quite a bit of activity considering the nature of life and death in the same place. But with having such a history of such a to me an evil demonic presence in life doing that to innocent children, it's definitely going to leave some things behind and some residue. And that, that just reminds me of a lot of the things you hear about in old asylums and things along those lines.
People in the comments are saying, and hotels and motels and homeless shelters.
Yeah.
And this person says they want to spend, says, I'd love to spend a night in a death row cell at Alcatraz. Oh boy, I'm into the supernatural, but that might be too much. I might be asking for problems.
Yeah, again, I'm all about investigations and all that kind of stuff, but I wouldn't want to put myself in the presence of that type of evil for that long. I'm good. It's already all around us as it is. You don't need to spend the night in a cell. It's pretty much everywhere.
Right. I've seen, I remember one night I was over at my brother's house and we had went to the grave. My one of my brothers owns a graveyard where my mom and my dad and some other people and a lot of other people were buried. He owns it, and me and my other brother went out there and we were flying these little cheap drones around and stuff. And it got dark, and while we were standing out there, I could see an apparition My brother had went out and walked and was looking at this gravestone. He turned and was walking back towards me, and I seen this apparition coming behind him. And I told my brother, and I said, I can see what looks like an apparition or a ghost walking up behind you. And he stopped, and the apparition passed through him. Yeah, and then we went back to the house. And when we got back to the house, I was sitting at the dining room table. My brother was sitting over to my right,
Right.
and there was a over on my left right here. There was a kind of like a recliner rocking chair, and I had my arm up on the back of it like this while I was sitting at the dining table. And out of nowhere, something just went boom, boom, and hit the rocking chair, and it knocked my arm off of it. Not super violent, but it was
Enough to notice.
enough to it threw my arm off, and I'm like, holy cow. And then I'm looking around in the living room because I only have peripheral vision in my left eye. My right eye has 20/20 focus vision. My left eye is all peripheral. So with my left eye, if you ever noticed, you can see more things with your peripheral vision that are supernatural than you can with your focusing of your eyes. So with my left eye, I was looking over there and I seen an apparition, and it was coming towards me, kind of crossing in front of the table, and I, it brushed against me, and every hair on my arm just went, just stood up, and it, you know how you can feel someone's vibe. Well, this ghost vibe did not feel good.
Mm.
I've been around other apparitions of ghosts, whatever you want to call them, where I didn't get that feeling. This one didn't feel good, and I told my brother, I said, uh, "You've got a ghost walking right across here, and he's heading over in front of you." And I was watching it with my left eye, and then it went and stood in front of my brother and turned around and started to sit in his lap. And I told my brother, I said, "It's trying to sit in your lap." And he looked at me funny, and then all of a sudden he felt it, and he flew out of the chair and started. He sprinted to his bedroom, got the Bible and a glass of water, and was slinging it all over the house, and saying prayers and rebuking it and everything. And yeah, that happened, and we never seen that ghost again, or the other friendly ghost that was in his house prior to that didn't mess with anything. She would just show up sometimes. He said she was gone too. He never seen her again either. Got rid of 2 for 1. It was like a 2 for 1 ghost special. Yeah, I mean, it sounds funny, really, but
No, but
it is. But it actually it happened.